Hi, I'm Zoe McEwen, UK course consultant with the Academy of Wedding and Event Planning. And today I'm going to be chatting with one of our students, Lisa-Marie Gardner. Hi, Lisa. Lisa-Marie?
Hi.
Is that your full name, Lisa-Marie? Hi.
Yeah.
Um, I tutor you on the courses, but we've never met because obviously the courses are online and virtual. So you offered very kindly to have a chat to us and just share some of your experiences, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. So if you could just fill in with a little bit of background about what you were doing before you did the course.
Yeah, perfect. Well, as I said, I did things a little bit the other way around to most people. So I actually did a year as a venue coordinator before I actually joined the Wedding Planning Academy last year.
Mhm.
So when I first joined, I'd never worked in hotels. I'd never done anything with wedding planning before. It was a complete new venture to me. However, I had done direct sales, I'd done customer service. So I kind of just put those two subjects together and found a product that I had a passion for and just went for it. And I'm now going into my third wedding season. I'm actually at a different venue from where I started as I moved house. But
Right.
that was all very exciting in the summer. So yeah, so that's basically the background of how I kind of came into the wedding industry, and then obviously a year into actually starting my career, I found the Wedding Planning Academy and thought, right, this is what I want to do. Let's try and make this my own. But as well as I'm still coordinating with a venue as well.
Yeah, so you found a job, so you changed career and you found a job with a venue doing, were you straight in doing coordination even though you'd done
Yeah.
nothing before?
Yeah, straight in as a wedding coordinator. The venue at the time had been without a coordinator for about 2 months. So they kind of threw me in the deep end. I had my first show round, my first week there, which actually ended up turning to be my mystery guest. So that was very interesting to see how I scored there when I had no experience at all. And I think I got about 89% on it, which was obviously very good, very intense training as well. And then I did my first wedding about 3, 4 months into it.
So you'd literally nothing. You'd no experience, no
Yeah.
qualifications. Had you planned your own wedding?
No, I'm not married, just
No.
nothing at all.
So you just went for it. You just applied for the job, saw it advertised, applied for the job and thought, I'm just going to see what happens.
Pretty much.
Fantastic. No, that's a great story because you just don't know unless you put yourself out there, do you?
Exactly. I'd come from a job where I actually got made redundant. So I sort of had literally nothing. I was sort of admin temping for about a month before I found this job.
Hmm.
Tried to get into the wedding industry when I was sort of about 17, 18 and sort of looked at jobs and what would be involved. And then from that got jobs that were quite customer service intensive, quite very much, as you say, direct sales orientated, took those experiences and the venue saw
Yeah.
that and took two and two together and wrote, right, she's got customer service, she's got direct selling skills, let's bosh those together and give her our training as well.
Yeah. So it wasn't necessarily, like you say, you were showing other skills, you were telling them how you could adapt those. And clearly you had the personality and the confidence on the day to sort of prove that you could back that up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, great. No, I love it. And you know, just going for it. And as you said, you know, being confident. So you've been doing the job for a while. Why did you decide you needed some extra training? Go backwards.
Um, I, well, I decided it was sort of something that I would really like to get into. From when I was quite young, I sort of decided eventually I would run my own business, that I didn't particularly like working within a corporate kind of industry, I guess, or sort
Yeah.
of setting. I quite like to get to know my clients. I still do within the job I'm doing now, but I want to dig in a little deeper with that. And thought I needed to get some experience. I'd never heard of even wedding trending, so I didn't realize that there was this massive market out there for weddings. As I said, I've never been married before, so I hadn't even delved into
No.
that. So I thought I needed a little bit of a boost and a little bit of support to do it and to sort of put myself out there.
And I think that's interesting because a lot of people do our courses who have no experience at all. And a lot of people are doing our courses because they want to add to their training and see it as a continual. And I think it is a continual thing, training, because the trends and the fashions and the industry moves really quite quickly. So you need to keep referring back and just checking that you are, you know, keeping up with what's going on. And you must have seen a start of that and thought, actually, I'm doing this job. but there's so much more out there.
Absolutely, and even within the job itself, things do move, as you say, so quickly. There's different elements of it as well that you have to adapt to. For example, as a coordinator, I also do a little bit of corporate and conferencing as well. So you've got to sort of be able to manage and juggle all that as well as keeping on top of everything else. But as you say, it's just so much more to it than I realised. And when even my first venue, when I started doing wedding fairs and hosting those, and getting to know my suppliers and kind of started networking without even realizing it, but now catching up with stuff on the course and being taught, well, you need to network, you need to keep these relationships going. I'm realizing, oh, I've kind of been doing all that, but it's nice to know that we've got a little bit of support there on how to learn it as well.
So are you now looking to see how you can grow this yourself a bit more?
Absolutely. As I said, the ultimate plan is to get myself all set up and run my own wedding planning business. But at the moment, I'm kind of, as you said, just developing those skills and trying to make sure that if obviously people do make mistakes along the way, but if I am going to make those mistakes, pick them up quickly and do it whilst I've got the support of a venue behind me rather than completely falling flat on my face as such.
So you said you'd moved jobs as well. So you got one job initially with very little experience. Then that experience, how easy was it to find a second job if you were moving?
It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to go to the interview and it was going to be exactly like my first one, and I'd have to kind of go through those bases again of what I've done in the past. But I found myself drawing experience from my coordinating role that I'd already had. Whereas I was still thinking back to my very first interview, my first venue, thinking, right, I'm going to have to draw on all my old experiences and really inject of how this is going to apply to my job role. Whereas I did find that them saying, right, so why are you moving? The fact that it was a move of location rather than move of the job, it was a little bit easier. But as I say, with the first interview especially, the fact that I had that passion there for the role, the fact that I love working with customers and clients and being a little bit more personality with it, they took that as well. So it's making sure you've got that confidence, I think, in the first interview when you're initially going for it, and then the second one, the sin, you've got that experience there and you're building on it as well.
I mean, you've proven that both things work, you know, just going for it, getting yourself out there, living off your personality and some of your skills, even though they weren't totally relevant to the industry. And then the second time around, you probably could talk with ease about any of the questions and didn't have to prepare in the same way that you did the first time. But obviously they were expecting maybe more of you because you'd been, you know, at this venue. So how have you managed to fit the course in with all this?
It's mainly been on scheduling. So over the summer, I did kind of lose track a little bit. But then sort of October time, I think it was, I picked myself back up again. So for example, myself, I work Tuesdays to Saturdays. We tend to spend Sundays with my partner as he works Monday to Friday. And then Monday is my serious study day. I literally spend it as if I was at work, but do a good sort of 7-8 hour stint. My partner's also actually studying a different course. He's doing something in electronics. So instead of having sort of nights where we'd be watching TV, we have study nights, as we have been doing tonight before this call. He got in from work, I got in from being out today, and yeah, we've just literally done a couple of hours sitting next to each other listening to music, studying.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And if you're going to set up a business or you're going to move on to another venue or whatever, you know, you need to work at it and you need to plan for it. The course prepares you to set aside that time management slot where you can think, you know, I'm going to set up my website, or I'm going to start writing or looking at packages or doing researching, or I'm going to start looking for a new job and seeing where I can go with that. Even researching to do the course, I think, takes a lot of effort and should take some time to choose the right course, to make sure you can't just, you know, none of these things are a 5-minute if they're a career change or extra training on moving you forward. So I think you have to, you know, take it seriously, which is what you've done, and you've proven that either way, with or without the experience, you're somebody that can do this, that is one of those types of people. And I think that's important to recognize our own personality skills too. So the course has helped you, but you did this without the course too. And I think the course, for in your instance, because you've already got a job in the industry, is going to help you just explore where you can take it further, where you can diversify and improve on everything that you've already learned, hopefully.
Exactly. I think Bill, one of the big main things I've taken for the course is setting up your scheduling, definitely. Because as I say, there was a time when I was sort of moving venues, moving sort of houses. I definitely sort of dropped the ball a little bit. Whereas now I've kind of got to that point in the course where it is schedule, schedule, schedule. It's something that I really would recommend to get to set yourself up a schedule and stick to it. Otherwise, it is easy to sort of lose track and think, oh, I might do it tomorrow night. Oh, I might do it on Saturday. But if you set yourself that schedule up, spend some time in setting a schedule up and sticking to it, it definitely helps.
And those are the people, the people like you that we know will succeed. The people that can do that and that can commit to something, deliver. Your job must be an awful lot about timelines and making sure that everything's done to match in, so the caterers know what food options they're going to have, and everything's set to a time. And if you can do the course and learn through the course, then you're much best prepared for the job.
Exactly, yeah. So within the job as well, I'd say whether you do decide to go to a venue or set yourself up on your own, or whichever route you do take, it is all about timing and scheduling and keeping people up to date. For example, somebody might come along 1 month and say, oh, I want a tomato soup, and then suddenly change their mind and go, oh, actually, I want something else. The more time you can give, for example, the chef that knowledge, then the smoother things are, rather than retaining information and thinking, oh, they might change it again. It's keeping everybody up to date along the line as well.
And I think that's probably something that you've learned that we can't necessarily explain in the course. That people do change their minds a lot, and that it is a movable thing. Events, it's not, with the assignments, there's not necessarily one answer, but you complete something and it's done and you're finished and it gets marked and you get your feedback and you move on. Whereas with weddings, they really evolve and you think you've got it sorted and then you change your mind and go back. So I think that having the experience and the course is a great combination.
Absolutely. I think it definitely helps if you've got both. I've seen a lot of stuff on Academy Live at the moment as well about getting, sorry, my mind's gone blank, what's the word? Getting experience, like work experience and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I definitely think if you can even get some work experience under your belt, it will definitely help, whether again you do after the course you do decide to go into the industry under a venue or go your own business. Getting some experience and just working with these people is definitely the best sort of combination, as you say, as well.
Yeah, so for you, you already had some experience. You found that the course was able to teach you something.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know, because I think the courses are aimed at everybody. People that are, obviously they're studied online, so they match with most people's commitments, but they fit for beginners and they fit for people that are already existing, because I think wherever you are, it's always good to come back and reflect on where you want to go and how you're going to achieve that. And the industry does move really quickly. So a lot of our courses are based around people maybe setting up their own business, but I think it's also really important for people that are in the industry to think, how can I move myself forward even in the industry, in my job? And in any career you would do extra training, you would continue to train. So I think that's just a good point, just to show people that the courses can do that for you. They're not just if you're wanting a total change of career. They are also a good thing if you're already in the industry and you think, yeah, I know quite a lot, but maybe also you just want that final qualification. Some people want the accreditation of the course too.
Absolutely, and say it's that little nugget of information that people like as well, like some things that come out of our Twitter feeds and that kind of thing, and the support that you get from the course. I've relayed some of that information to some of my couples and they've gone, well, actually, that's a really good idea. How did you know that? And little things will come out of the course that you'll think, I never thought of that. That's absolutely fantastic. And then you apply that to your role as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because you could set up a business on your own, or you can, as you've shown, go and get a job with little or no experience and kind of do it and be successful at it. But it's those extra little pointers that perhaps would have taken you 10 years to learn, that the course can teach you a little bit quicker, to move you forward a little bit quicker, especially with the business knowledge as well, I think.
With the business knowledge, yeah, absolutely. And also with sort of applications, for example, as we were chatting before, I'd never used Google Hangouts before. I'd never used Twitter before I started the course either, let alone socially, let alone businessly. So as I say, it's those little things as well, that you've got the support there on the Facebook page, on the Twitter feed, and learning how to use these things. Pinterest as well. I'd never used Pinterest before I started on the course, and obviously that's a massive thing, and it's something I now use to communicate with some of my brides at work as well. So it's learning across the board, all these little bits that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't set up on the course.
And I think just before we finish, because I don't want to keep you too long, but it is about growing with it. And when you've paid that money and the information's there in front of you, you're more inclined to try it and experiment and do it than when you haven't paid the money and somebody says, oh, you should try Pinterest, it'd be great for your work, and you think yeah, and it just goes to the bottom of the to-do list. When you've paid for a course and that is the next project, learning about how to use Pinterest or Instagram and make the most of them, you have to do it, because you can't move to the next unit, and there's you don't want to waste that money and the accreditation. So it forces you to engage in a world that you would probably put to the bottom of the list.
Exactly, and you start learning to, as you say, explore things you wouldn't have necessarily done. Say for me, Instagram is the next one on the hit list. I've not actually got into the world of Instagram yet, but now I've sort of got my head around sort of Pinterest and now Google Hangouts and Google Plus.
It'll take 5 minutes. You can do it tonight.
Exactly. But as I say, if I didn't have that push of thinking, oh, I've spent this money on the course, if it's just somebody said to me, oh, get on Instagram, it's the next sort of trending thing. Personally, I don't really follow sort of what's going on in the celebrity world or anything like that, or what is the next hot thing. I think just because of my personal interests, it doesn't really follow that route of what's hot now. Whereas doing the course, because as you say, it's something that I've paid for, it's like, oh, actually, let's get on that. And now I can follow my personal interests on there as well.
Yeah, and I think if you use it as a work tool, which I do, I don't really engage in social media much personally. I use it very much as a work tool, and when you start to see it working for you, then it's great, and you think, oh, and then it becomes a little bit more addictive. And these things are actually really easy, like Twitter. Once you get on them, they are so easy. But as well, if you're in a world where your venue is quite traditional in what they do, and they've been doing it like that for quite a while, and like you started out almost on your own and nobody shows you or teaches you, you're not going to learn all these new things. And our courses are updated, the next thing like Periscope and things like that. Even though you haven't got Instagram yet, I won't throw Periscope out there, but if you're in a world where there's other people and you're in chat, and we've got the Facebook page and our blog and things like that, then you'll just feel like you're keeping up to date with it, and you're very young and you need to keep with that. You can't afford to let that go by, because in a year's time you would be outdated, and brides will be coming expecting a certain service, and if you don't offer that service that they're finding at another venue, then you get behind, and whether it's your job or your business, you can't afford to do that for your job either.
Exactly, and as you say, is keeping on top of the next hot thing, which socially, as you say, isn't something that I would have naturally have done, but sort of business wise, and it's something we're now introducing to the venue to do, like a wedding tip of the week on our Facebook page or whatever it is like that. It's something, as you say, it's keeping on top and keeping your bride and grooms interested and realizing, oh, these guys are really on trend, on top. Let's go for it, because they know what they're talking about. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we could talk all night. I'm sorry. I'm really, really grateful for your time. And we have a lot of students and potential new students who are really interested in how you get a job and break into the industry. And your story is quite fascinating in that you just did it. You just went for it. And we love that. We love that kind of story, because a lot of what we do and what we encourage in our students is really, if you want to do it, just have a go, just try, just see. So it's a great story for somebody that went out there and got a job and has turned it into a really great career and a future. Now I'm assuming you're going to continue with your company and stay in the job you're in at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the plan to stay with them for a little while. I've got a few they say you shouldn't, but I've got a few favourite couples that I want to see their weddings finished.
That's good.
So,
And there's still things to learn.
exactly, yeah.
And while you're in that transition period, it's quite nice to have both things going.
Absolutely, as I say, and so I'm more than happy if anyone's got any questions or anything, and sort of just another push of, well, how did you do it? And just even just an answer from someone that's done it, say, well, just go and do it. I've done it. I'm more than happy to people ask questions. Yeah, exactly.
No, you're a real inspiration. Thank you so much for offering. It's always nice for me to just meet people face to face because the courses are online. You know, we don't always get to see each other or speak face to face, so that's really nice. So thank you, and I'll look forward to the flurry of Monday assignments from you every Monday, and then go quiet for a bit. How far have you got with the course?
I think I'm project 3, maybe going into 4 now.
Oh, okay. So you're still early days.
Still very, very early stages. As I say, I did drop the ball a little bit, but they are coming in thick and fast now.
We've got a way to go and lots still to teach you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to switch this off now. Thank you so much, Lisa-Marie. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Cheers. Bye.